leadership is not just holding a position where you're a president or a vice president. It's really contributions that you give to an organization or institution and the impact that you have on that institution. These two young people have an incredible impact on our school in everything that they do. So just briefly, Deb, why don't you come on up and I'll run through a couple of their accomplishments. So Gavin is involved in everything. And if I miss an area, please feel free to correct me. But she excelled academically in AP and honors classes. She's involved in sports, and not the timid sports either, the contact sports, lacrosse and field hockey. She's in the news sports leadership position in the newspaper. She does the arts and singing and the musicals and drama. She's our Hobie representative, our Hugh O'Brien Leadership Award representative. I catch my breath here. We have the French National Honor Society, correct? Pro, can't forget Pro. Pro is one of the organizations that their sole responsibility is to be leaders in our community and help other students transition into our school. Talked about the acapella, I talked about Rotary Interact Club. You're the secretary of the French National Honor Society, and you're also a scholar leader. I don't think I missed a single part of the school. We have academics, we have arts, we have athletics, and you excel in every single one of those areas. So as I start off by saying, it's not just the position that you hold, but it's the contribution that you make. Every person that I talk to about data just glows about her impact in those areas. I can tell you personally, if there's something that I need done or there's an important task to do, and I hear that Davin is involved in it, I'm good. It's taken care of. It's going to be top notch. And she'll do it in a way that makes everyone around her better. So for that reason, that is why you are a K recipient. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Well,
let's give you a certificate. So you don't have to stand up.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well done.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you get all the flowers planted?
Oh, yeah.
We saw each other at Lowe's.
John, you want a picture? You want to get a picture now or later?
Want to go in now? Okay.
You guys want to go here, Dad? Why don't you get in the middle here? Important one.
Yep. Excellent.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Dan.
Congratulations. On cue. Simi, come on up. Very agile. I like the way that you stepped over that cord. Well done. You just do everything with class and style. That's impressive. So again, talking about the shining stars of East Lyme High School, I was introduced to Samit when he was in middle school, actually. I get a call saying I have an 8th grade student that wants to come up and interview me for a project that they're doing for C-SPAN. C-SPAN? What 8th grader watches C-SPAN or knows anything about C-SPAN? So he comes up and he wants to talk to me about Social Security. I guess he thinks I'm, about that age. But again, talk about forward thinking, talk about the future of our country. So that was my first interaction with Samit, and that was when he was in middle school. So now he shows up to high school, and he is just tearing it up, both academically, socially, from the leadership perspective. Samit's been the class president for
2 years now.
2 years now?
Yeah.
Are you counting this year too?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Next year.
Leo president. The interesting thing about Leo, again, talking about leadership not only in the position, but what you do in that position. The Leos have different levels of community service. The highest level is gold. And gold is 100 hours of community service a year. And I believe this is your second, you've done it 2 times now?
Yep.
And you've also had a silver, which
Yep.
is 50 hours. So you would think that, wow, that's a lot.
Well, it is for just one thing. But then you tack on all the other stuff that Sumit does. He's the president, again, of these different organizations. He's been the Board of Ed rep. He's also in pro. He's another Hobie, Hugh O'Brien Leadership Award representative, a scholar leader. He does Science Olympiad. He does the Spanish National Honor Society. He's in the Math League. AP classes, how many AP classes?
4 this year.
4 this year. You put all that together, it's the same 24 hours in a day that we all have. I'm not sure how you jam all that stuff in, but it's extremely impressive. And then you talk to him. You see him in the hallways walking by and say, Sumi, how's it going? Oh, great. Like, there's not a care in the world. It's easy going. I'm thinking, I would be stressed out beyond belief if I had just a smidgen of the things that you do. In addition to that, again, in my role as a principal, I'm interacting with a lot of the leaders in the school, whether it's through the newspaper or the class presidents or student senate. These guys are the ones that really carry out all the things in the school. They're the ones that make things happen. And I'm constantly going to Sumit and giving him ideas, talking to him about things in the school, getting his feedback on things. So he's kind of guiding me and ways to navigate the school. So going back to my original statement of it's not just the positions that you hold, although they are impressive, it's what you do in those positions and how you make our school better. And I couldn't be more proud of the efforts that the both of you put into making our school great.
Thank you.
So Sumit, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for everything.
Thank you. Very good.
Certificate and letter for you as well.
All right.
Congratulations. Let's get a picture.
Yeah.
Oops, there you go.
Great.
All right. Thank you.
Good, well done. Very good.
I'd just like to end off with one thing, if I could. Success like this does not happen alone. And I want to just draw everyone's attention to the family support that these young people have. This is number 3 of All-Stars for the Roberts. Sumit's number 1 coming through, and your younger sister, I'm sure she has the same qualities, and I expect to see you up here in a couple of years. But over the years, I've interacted with both families, and I can tell you that it takes a village to really raise students, and these groups of folks have done a fantastic job. So I'd like to just congratulate you on all that you've done. So thank you. Well done. Thank you.
Jason?
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to do this without my glasses. So our 2 winners are Grace Liu and Jenny Sherwood, and I'd like to actually have them both come up and do them kind of together. So if you can both come up, that would be great. So we don't have all the probably recognition that the high school has. We're middle school, and every day, what's important for us is we get a lot of good feedback from teachers. So when we talked to teachers and talked about Jenny and Grace, the teachers had the most unbelievable comments, how it's not an award to be recognized to help your classmates, but yet every day you go above and beyond to help your peers, to make sure that if you're working on a project with them, that they're moving along at the same rate that you are. We have so many events in school that you always step forward and you want to put your best foot forth for that. What's interesting for us, though, is that I just tried to look at your grades quickly, and so they're perfect. I can't find any discrepancies in any, so it's just a testament to the hard work that you put forward every day, the studying that you do, and on top of all that you seem to get everything done on top of that. So as Mr. Susi said, I don't know how you pack it in a day, because our days are so busy, they're so full of everything that you get all the work done, yet you still maintain perfect GPAs. So again, we don't necessarily measure the GPAs the way that the high school does, but you're both excelling academically, and so that's a testament again to your hard work. I talked to both of your team leaders. We have a team leader structure at the middle school, and so in talking to both of your team leaders about your work characteristics, they said, well, why don't you come back to a team meeting? Because I think all of the teachers should talk about Jenny and about Grace and the work that they do every day. So when I went in for the meetings with the teachers to talk about that, they couldn't, the time I allocated to it wasn't enough because they were like, no, wait, let me tell you about this about Jenny because she's so good at this. And then the same thing with Grace. No, let me tell you about this because there's this project that we're working on, but Grace had this idea about how to expand that project even further. So I think we've got two students that embody what middle school is about because they're not worried about awards and they're not worried about recognitions and they're not seeking to get perfect GPAs. They're there for their classmates. They're there to make their teachers proud of what they do. They're there to make their parents proud of the school that they go to. So you are both going to really represent our middle school well when you move on to high school. I know Mr. Susi is going to be excited to welcome you on June 21st when we do our class night. And I know that your careers here at East Lyme High School will be very prosperous, as they have been at the middle school. So on behalf of the middle school, thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you really for supporting your classmates, because I think that that's a big thing for us at the middle school. And thanks for supporting East Lyme Middle School. So well done. Congratulations.
Your picture? Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. You good?
Slow at this. I credit East Lyme High School for that.
Congratulations. Yep.
Joe.
You know, I'm your backup.
Oh, you know what? Mrs. Anania, we had one more special surprise. That, before I sit down, I wanted to turn it over to you for a second.
I would like to introduce Jolene and Gabby Weisgarber. And I would like to give special recognition to Gabby tonight, but before I do, I just want to thank the family because they do represent many of the military families that we do have in our district. Gabby's dad is in Jordan at this point in time, and they've taught me a lot this year and over the years because it's brought to light that not only does the service person go through sacrifices, but the family does as well, and we can't remember that. So I just want to thank them for their sacrifices as a family first. I would like to talk with you about Gabby. We have Viking Valor Awards and we have CABE Awards. We have a lot of different awards which students deserve. And we bring to light their interests and their achievements and their hard work. I received an email from Jolene, Gabby's mom, last week. And I was very excited, and I'd like to read part of that email. Good morning, she wrote. Yesterday evening, Gabby received the news that she's been selected as one of the top 130 10-year-olds in the country to train with the USA High Performance Volleyball Program. She will be training down in South Carolina in the Future Select Skills Program. This elite training program is how not only all the top Division I colleges recruit their volleyball players, but this is where we pull for the Olympic and Women's National Program. Gabby's in 4th grade. There are, I know she went through a pretty rigorous tryouts, right, Gabby? Yeah, and she was wearing sneakers that were too big for her feet, right? But she made it. She even competed against a 6'4", 17-year-old senior, right? Wow. So we are very, very excited. She will be training down this summer in where, Gab? Where are you going? Greenville, South Carolina. So I did want to give special recognition to a fourth grader for having achieved that. So I'm very, very happy.
Thank you, Mrs. Anania.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's wonderful. At this point, the board would be more than glad to hear any public comment concerning any matter of the district. Anybody want to address the board at this time? Anybody? Yes. And give us your name and address.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Xin Duan, and I live in 8 Hickory Court. So I'm a board member and ex-principal of the Chinese school. Tonight I'm here with Principal Miss Willie Yu and a few of board members of the Chinese school. We'd like to get your attention about the recent proposed rental increase for the Chinese school to use the high school facility. So I have 3 quick points to make. First, the proposed rental increase from the 15K to 53K will significantly impair the operation of the Chinese school, if not result in its completely shutting down. So right now, the Chinese school with the current rental of 15K, we barely keep the balance of the income and expense. If we have to pay 53K, school will be forced to consider an alternative location. However, the Chinese school has a long-standing history with the Islam community. Its closure will not be popular with the residents. Second, I hope you will agree with me that this is not a simple business decision. It's about education. So the Chinese school supports the education need of more than 300 children across the southeastern Connecticut. Among these children, about 60% of students are from Islam. So any of your support actually will go back to our own children. By the way, the Chinese school is a non-profit organization. So most of our faculties and the staff members are working as volunteers in order to keep the cost low. Last point I want to make is that over the years, the Chinese school had a positive impact to our school district. So advanced education our students get in math, science, and language skills make them stronger students who also perform better in the standardized tests. And that helps our school maintain, if not increase, the strong academic standing. And we also noticed that the Chinese school students have contributed a lot towards the recent success of the math team and science team, both in our middle school and in Chinese school. So, in conclusion, your help will have a profound impact on our community, and we ask you to reconsider this decision to increase the rental. And I thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, we're very happy to answer.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, as part of the process, this is a time where the public talk to us. We cannot respond back to you.
Okay.
Okay. So, but we certainly noted your comments, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Just one more thing is right now we put our registration on hold for next semester. So I hope the board will have a quick answer to us so we can, make decision for next step. Thank you very much.
I'll be in touch then. Thank you.
Anybody else like to address the board on any matter? District. Anybody else?
Hello, my name is Brian Steskowski. I live at 3 Hickory Court in East Lyme, and I would just like to comment about the Eastern Connecticut Chinese School. I have 2 children who attend there, and I can't stress much how much they've learned from that program. And actually, if you look in the area throughout Connecticut and throughout even the greater, Connecticut, Rhode Island area, there is almost no programs that offer this kind of language, culture, art, dance, math, chess, athletic program that we can send our children to. And it was one of the reasons that we came to East Lyme, quite frankly, to have access to that program. And while it isn't part of the everyday, curriculum, it is a resource that we, kind of share in terms of the building. And it doesn't seem to me to be a large cost to the district in terms of facilities that are already there. And it's mostly use of classrooms. So I know a lot of the faculty donate their time, which is quite critical because you need to have diverse native speakers to learn from. And in working with the people there and the faculty of the Chinese school, I would have to say that they're top-notch and really great people and important contributors to our community.
Thank you very much. Anybody else like to address the board at this time? Yes, sure.
So I'd just like to echo the
Name and address.
James Archambault, 30 Cardinal Road. Yeah, I just want to echo the sentiments that we just heard. I've been in East Lyme for about 10 years, and I have 2 stepdaughters that both went through the Chinese school, and I saw the impact that they had on them academically in their regular high school, in preparing for college. I was astounded, having come from another community, and I was astounded when I first visited the Chinese school and saw hundreds of kids, not just Chinese Americans, but all kinds of kids, hundreds of kids benefiting from it. I'm here in part because I'm also a student at the Chinese school. Somebody said I was the oldest student. I'm not sure what they meant. No, I'm just kidding. But I've been attending a colloquial Chinese class for about 7 years now. I'm probably the slowest learning student, if I can give credit to something. So I've benefited from it also. And every year I see the Chinese community celebrate the impact that the Chinese school has had on them. And if you look at the students that are graduating this year, even last year, and just to see what, I think the reputation that gives to East Lyme, I think that you'll see that attending the Chinese school was a big part of their success. And so I just want to, I talk with my family and friends and coworkers and talk about the Chinese school in East Lyme, and they're envious that something like that exists in East Lyme. They really are very envious. So just want to give my support, and I wanted to say something very positive about it. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Yes.
My name is Nathan Sobel, 35A Scott Road. I'd never heard of this program until just now. And I hope you guys support it because I plan to sign up my kids for it. So this is one of the things that makes the East Lyme school system stand out from a lot of local school systems. When we settled here 10 years ago, we settled in East Lyme, initially in Niantic, then moved further north because of the schools. We could have moved into Mystic, we could have been in Stonington, we could have been anywhere else, but we picked here, and because of programs like this. So I'll talk to them, and hopefully you guys support them, and you guys go back and make the changes, because it's not a lot of money, and if you have such an impact on a community, that's how you stand out. That's how you make other people meet those requirements that you have, that you posted up about how, the school attendance is going to grow. It's because of programs like that. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Anybody else? Else like to address the board? No? Okay. All right, we'll move on to approval of some minutes that we have. We have our minutes from April 30th. There was a regularly scheduled meeting. You want to make a motion? No? those?
I would like to make the minutes April 30th regular Board of Education meeting.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Barbara seconds it. Any corrections, modifications, to those minutes? No? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Jill, I think
Oh, I can't.
at that meeting, yeah, okay. Okay, so the next set that we've got is the minutes from the special meeting, Board of Ed meeting on May 2nd.
I'd like a motion to approve the special meeting workshop.
Okay, second? Lee, you want a second? Second. Okay, there you go. Okay, any changes, corrections to those? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Yeah. Barbara and Jamie? Was it?
No, I was there for
You were there, yeah.
Bill wasn't.
And Bill wasn't?
This was the,
This was,
this one?
yeah.
I was not at that.
Yeah, you weren't, yeah. So Barbara and.
Barbara was there.
Well, I got there at the very end,
Oh, okay.
briefly.
That's close enough.
Okay, so you got that? That's okay. And the next set was,
The other
I'd like to make a motion
yeah,
to approve the Board of Ed minutes of the special meeting on May 7th.
yep. Okay, second?
second.
Bill seconds that. Any discussion, comments on that? Nope. Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Barbara abstains on that one. Okay. And then the last set is the minutes of the Board of Education Committee of the Whole meeting, which was held on May 7th.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Committee of the Whole Board of Ed meeting from May 7th.
Okay. Is there a second? Any corrections? Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
This wasn't at the, sorry, she wasn't at that.
Yeah, yeah.
She's not in the minutes.
Okay.
Sorry.
So all those in favor, let's see, we did aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Okay, and those minutes are approved. Okay. Okay, that moves us to special reports. Samit? Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Conrad's actually out there playing in our basketball. So I'm here. I guess I'll start off on the sports news as the spring season begins to wrap up. Girls tennis, they're ECC champions. They were actually undefeated. Nice. Very good for them. Individuals girls ECC tennis, they will start tomorrow at Stonington. Boys tennis are ECC champions as well. We were undefeated. We had our last match against Stonington. We won that. And individual ECCs begin tomorrow at New London and doubles at this time. And also boys tennis have their state class tournament at Yale this Saturday. Boys and girls across ECC semifinals are tomorrow. Boys play against Fitch at Montville at 5 o'clock. And girls are playing Bacon at Stonington at 7:30. And the ECC finals for lacrosse will be on the 24th at East Lyme. Boys and girls crew will have the NEIRA Championships on the 26th of May. And girls golf will be playing their championship at Quinnipiac Club on May 29th, followed by the boys on the 31st. It's a lot of sports. On to other news, the band concert was the 17th. The choir concert will be held this Thursday, the 24th at 7 o'clock in the auditorium. And the orchestra concert will be the week after, May 31st at 7 in the auditorium as well. The Art Expo, obviously, showcasing their artwork the high school students have worked on throughout the year. And it takes place in the Commons. Started at 6, and I believe it will run until around 8 o'clock. Awards night is also coming up. 9th and 10th graders have theirs on May 29th at 7 in the auditorium. And 11th and 12th graders have theirs on June 5th at the same time at 7 o'clock in the auditorium. Senior prom is coming up June 2nd at Lake of Isles. National Honor Society production will take place June 4th in the auditorium. And the East Lyme Spectacular.
Congratulations on the Leadership Award. So, okay, we do have the Selectman representative, Mr. Siri.
Yeah, Mr. Sloan contacted me a short time ago and said, could I cover for him tonight? So I said, certainly. The biggest thing coming up Thursday is the referendum from 8 to 8 at the community center. Please be sure and get out to vote. We're one of the towns that allows everybody to participate in their approval or disapproval of the budget. So please, we've had really low turnout over the last several years, so it'd be nice to see some here, a good turnout. Everybody votes at the community center, and to any high school student who has turned 18 and hasn't registered, they can do so between now and then and vote on Thursday. Moving on to parks, summer is just around the corner starting this weekend. You'll need a pass to get into the parks, and then after school gets out, you'll need them every day. The summer concert series will start. You can go online to Parks and Rec. Fridays are going to be up in the band shell from 7 to 9, and then on Wednesdays down at the beach. So a lot of activities to tell you who's playing and so forth like that. I'm not sure if the Paul Lucier Band is kicking it off again, but my guess is they probably are. I think they have an in somehow with doing that. Also, they're running the water line down and the sewer down to Cheney Park. We're hoping for this weekend we will not have the long winter or the drawn out and the weather kind of set us back a little bit there. But we are doing there. They're putting a little bigger pipe in too because we're hoping to be able to accommodate water to the Black Hawk and some down there as well because they use our docks. We'd like to see if we can provide them with some water. But the bathrooms should be in by probably the end of September. The park at the end of Main Street gets better and better every day. If you haven't gone down and seen it, it's really starting to come into its own. If you'd like to buy a brick down there, see Sue Cumro at Mermaid Liquors or Smith Acres. Looks really nice and it's getting better. We're going to have a new museum in town. It's going to be called the Brookside Farms Museum. It's now currently called the Smith Harris House.
Oh.
We had Farms
Museum. We had a presentation at our last selectmen's meeting. They went back and retraced the history of the Smith Harris House. It goes back, it was initially a working farm, Avery family, and it was called Brookside Farms. So they'd like to redo that. The name Smith Harris will still be prominent, but they're going to, we're having a public hearing just prior to our next Board of Selectmen meeting, and if not, we'll adopt an ordinance changing the name to the Brookside Farm Museum Commission Vice Smith Harris House. Their commission and the Friends of Smith Harris brought this to us. We think it's a great idea, and the curator for the place gave a quick synopsis of the history of it and why they want to do this. It makes a lot of sense. Also, she said she's tired of answering the phone saying, no, we're not Smith Acres. No, we're not Smith. So, that was not funny. And that pretty much takes care of what we did last week. And like I said, the referendum is a big thing, and off we go. That's it.
Good. Jill?
I think she was first.
Okay. All right.
Quick question. I know at one of the board selectmen or finance meetings, there was talk of like putting in like a kayak dock down at Cheney Beach.
Oh, yeah,
Do you know when that's coming in?
That'll be being done. It's in progress right now, too. And Bill, I sent you something. Did you get, I mailed you something?
Yes.
Okay, good. And if you want to stop at Town Hall, they got some really good diagrams of what it's going to look like. It's going to be a very nice dock, very user-friendly, same thing. And I would estimate probably mid-summer time frame.
And then I have another question about the new Main Street Park.
Yes.
Is there going to be a handicap ramp? I know a lot of people are worried because they only see stairs.
Yes, it'll be going around the back. So yes, they will. Good. Bill?
My question was on the boardwalk on Saturday, or no, on Sunday, and there was a jet ski competition. Can you just tell me a little bit about how that came to fruition? Because I saw all these people and thought, they're going to be spending money in town.
They did. They were here last year at the end of.
I never.
They were here last year at the end of September. That's when it got really hot. We didn't realize how many people were going to be. They wound up camping at McCook's, which you cannot do so. That was all worked out now. They love it here. They love using our resources, and they're going to be doing it in May now, Vice, after Memorial Day, because between Memorial Day and really the end of September, it just gets too busy with people using the facilities. So they go out there, they launch down at Cheney Park, they go around there, or on the other side of the river as well, Atlantic River. But they use it for, it was Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, I'm assuming we pay Is there a fee we charge?
No, there's no fee, because it really doesn't require any, they get their permits and everything through Coast Guard and DEEP.
Okay.
It doesn't really affect us at all. And we don't have to hire any staff or anything for them
Okay.
at all. Last year we had to because of that hot
They
weekend.
camped in the park,
But
yeah.
no, there's no staff involved, so there's really no cost because they're not really using anything except spending money on Main Street for us.
Yeah, I
which we
saw
like
a
doing.
car as far as Pennsylvania, so that was great.
Yeah, the Coast Guard sits off the water as well as, I don't know if we
Is that
put.
who marked off the water?
No, Coast Guard sits out there for safety.
No, but I saw the floats. Do they put their own floats in?
Everything is done by them, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
And they did go through the harbor management and so forth like that, so and we made sure this year that there were no zoning permits needed. We clarified that with town council, but they do plan on coming back next May as well. Hopefully, it won't be a rainy day. Oh, and Touch a Truck had to be postponed, as you see, until October 13th, because with summer weekends starting, there's just no time to be able to block off the whole park. So, that's it.
Good, good. Any other questions for Kevin? No? Thank you very much, Kevin. Very good. Excellent. We do not have a Salem Board rep. We have no consent agenda, so that takes us to our discussion action items for the first item that's up is for discussion is to establish an ad hoc committee from the board to assess financial development and planning status for the Planetarium Advisory Committee. So this is kind of we need to have a couple members of the board or more to step forward to kind of help sort out and understand exactly how the planetarium proposal is all going to kind of come together. And I know Diane Swan I think she's here. Yeah, hi, Diane. But they've been working hard on this, but it's something where I think we need to probably have a little focus and attention on it. Small ad hoc committee. Whoops. Jeff, do you have anything to add?
I think that's pretty much it. We just want to work with them a little bit on a deeper sense, get a little more clarity around their financials to help the board better decide and determine whether or not you want to move forward with holding on to the space for them as they continue to prep at the high school for a potential planetarium that they run in their own accord.
Right. So, yeah, Eric?
Just
Good.
a couple questions. So one is, expected time and commitment, and then two is this a longer term, like to help them through the longer-term cycle, or really just to understand the business plan part of the financials?
We put in the, actually in the little thing on the agenda details, that we would like to have this ad hoc committee kind of probably meet a couple of times with the Planetarium Advisory Committee and report back to us at our June 25th meeting. So it's kind of a short item, and it's really talking about saying, should we continue to hold the space for the coming year? Does it make sense or not? So that's kind of, I think that's kind of the remit for the ad hoc committee.
I'm sorry, what's the little thing on the agenda?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
And if you tap on the agenda item,
Yep.
you'll get agenda item details.
Okay, I've got that.
And then under public comment, that's what I'm kind of looking at, which, public content.
There's a statement there, kind of a charge,
Oh,
if
that's
you
it.
will.
Okay.
Yeah, see it? See it,
No,
Eric?
I got it. Okay, thanks.
This is 1 to 2 meetings.
Sorry, this is our part of our learning session.
I know there's something like, okay, got it. Got it, okay.
Any comments or questions on this? So, I'm looking for some help.
Yeah, I'm happy to help.
Okay. I would think it should be.
Yeah.
Eric, anybody else want to raise their hand? Lee? Okay, all right. What do you think, two?
2 or 3 max, I think is fine.
No, yeah.
Like 2 meetings.
Yeah, it'd be like
1 or 2.
Yeah, I would think you'd probably do two sessions.
If it's before June 25th.
Okay, so Eric. Okay.
Just that statement.
Okay.
Now, move on to our next, well, actually, there's 3 consecutive items. This is something that we might end, right? Has to do with the taking action on the proposed 2018-19 Healthy Food Certification
here with us tonight, so he's happy to share, clarify any other information. But this first one, this the certification shall include all food offered facilities separately from all times and from all sources. Machines and beverages. State laws that were mandated because we are part of the food certification.
Right.
So, Chris, I don't know if you have anything you want to...
It also affects the funding for the lunch program.
Right. Yeah.
It also affects the funding for the lunch program. So this program actually started in 2006. There's 175 districts that participate, which is 90% of the school districts in the state. We get an extra 6 cents per reimbursable meal for being in this program, and it was the state of Connecticut that set this up so that you would follow their stricter guidelines than the more loosely USDA guidelines. So it's an incentive to be part of this program as the extra funds that we get in reimbursement. And then like Jeff was saying, the next two down it deals with exemptions. It's for like special events. So like at your prom, you can sell, say, soda or candy if the board approves of exemptions for that type of thing. But it's only for special events. It's not for, you can't sell soda during the middle of the day, but it's only for special events. So that's what those next two separate exemptions are for.
Good, thanks. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
I had wording, I want to make sure I understand the wording in the document, because it said the regular school days occur from midnight to before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day.
Yeah. And that's state guidelines. That's not. It's not.
And that's the wording in the state guidelines?
That's the exact wording that they give you to approve.
I read it as almost the reverse of what is really. Okay, if that's the school, that's the state guidelines.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, that's. It's just. Yeah, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to protect the school day from the morning period till after school.
I'll reserve my comment.
But that is the wording exactly, and they make you cut and paste it right into.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Your motion. So.
Anything else? If somebody wants to take a deep breath.
I will take the deep breath. I would like to recommend, I'd like to make a motion to approve that pursuant to CGS 1021.5F, the Board of Education or governing authority certifies that all food items offered for sale to students in the schools under its jurisdiction and not exempted from the Connecticut nutrition standards published by the Connecticut State Department of Education will comply with the Connecticut nutrition standards during the period of July 1, 2018 through June 30, 2019. This certification shall include all food offered for sale to students separately from reimbursable meals at all times and from all sources, including but not limited to school stores, vending machines, school cafeterias, and any fundraising activities on school premises sponsored by the school or by non-school organizations and groups.
Okay. Second. Don seconds it. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Passed unanimously. And the next one, click. Okay. Is the exemption of food items. And has to do with, well, that's what we heard.
Yeah, we kind of talked about all three of them. Sale of food.
Anybody want to make a motion on this one?
I'll do it, I guess.
Okay, go ahead, Barbara.
I move that the Board of Education or governing authority will allow the sale to students of food items that do not meet the Connecticut nutrition standard, provided that the following conditions are met. One, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of the regular school day or on the weekend. Two, the sale is at the location of the event. And three, the food items are not sold from a vending machine or school store. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regularly scheduled practice, meeting, or extracurricular activity. For example, soccer games, school plays, and interscholastic debates are events, but soccer practices, play rehearsals, and debate team meetings are not. The regular school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means where the event is being held.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
Jamie?
Go ahead, it's fine.
Second, I missed it.
Jill.
Jill did. Okay, Jill seconds it. Any other discussion on this one? Jamie, go ahead.
I guess, not knowing before that the school day started at midnight, does that mean preschool bake sales are not allowed? No, like if they sell something before school starts?
Well, it would run.
What are they selling for?
Well, no, I'm thinking ahead. I don't really know. I'm just thinking I never thought in my head that the school day started at midnight. I always thought it like started at.
When do they have bake sales?
Yeah, and it depends if it is an event, it's like instead of a thing. So if they're just selling it just to sell it.
Well,
no,
let's say they're
couldn't.
having like a bake sale to support the victims of the Hawaii volcano.
But it's who you're selling to. So if you're selling to an adult, it's not. If you're selling to a student, then it is, it's not allowed.
It's not allowed. Okay.
Anytime that you're selling to students directly, it's not allowed. If an adult is buying it,
It's okay.
it's okay, because it's not the student who's buying it.
So confusing. Okay.
Yeah, got
They're
it.
not
Good
allowed,
question, though.
like, same with any fundraiser, they're not allowed, the student isn't allowed to be part of the transaction, like you can't sell cookies and then have a student bring the cookies home on the bus.
I
The
know
adult
that
has to
much.
fix it up, pick it up, so.
My concern was the midnight is at the start of the school day kind of deal.
And again, it's if it's affecting the children directly.
When do
If
they
it's
have
an
bake
adult
sales?
is
3 in the morning?
purchasing the item or not.
So I can have a bake sale where I sell to teachers, but I can't have a bake sale where I sell to students.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, wow, all right.
I mean, it's.
No, it's good,
Glad we do this once a year.
Question. Yeah. Any other comments, questions on this one? Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Okay, passes unanimously. And the last one,
The last one.
click. You gonna come up?
Something to say about it before I make the motion?
Go ahead.
I would like to make a motion for the Board of Education to approve the sale of, no. The Board of Education will allow the sale to students of beverages not listed in Section 10.221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes, provided that the following conditions are met. One, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of the regular school day or on the weekend. Two, the sale is at the location of the event. And three, the beverages are not sold from a vending machine or school. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regular scheduled practice, meeting, or extracurricular activity. The school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of the official school day. Location means that where the event is being held, it must be the same place as the food sales. Second.
Discussion on this one? No? Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, and that one passes as well. Okay. Next item, which should be fairly brief, is a discussion of the elementary school alteration project.
Let me give you a couple points, Tim, and then you want to talk about that a little bit?
Okay.
You said short.
We'll be quick. Brief. We're gearing up. We've got our movers, moving company in place, which is approved by the town building committee last Thursday evening. So that started today with central office being moved downstairs. Our main floor, myself and Amy and Lynn and Lee. So we are downstairs now and settling in. Trailers are coming on site. the end of this week, so Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the project manager, Joe Vitro, will be on site, and they're hooking up power and running lines and all of that, so that will all be worked out. And once those trailers are on site, they will be on site, our project manager and our superintendent. So we will be in full mode once that happens, and getting ready for everyone to depart for the year, and construction companies to roll in on the 25th, 26th. So that's kind of what's going on around the schools.
Yeah, it certainly was a dose of reality when I came in to meet with you this morning, and the movers were taking Jeff's and office apart, and Amy's is all gone, and
Oh my God, they're leaving.
and Lynn was holding onto her desk, not moving me.
So we're in the garden level, we call it now.
Yeah, in the garden level, yeah.
Yeah, so we're squeezed in tightly.
Down in the old cafeteria.
But it's good. We will make it work for a year, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
That's good. The only other thing that I wanted to pass along that occurred at the building committee last week was that the building committee agreed to the guaranteed maximum price that O&G presented, and this is the document that generated the guaranteed maximum price, which includes all the bids and then all the selected bids and all the mass balance of all the money. And so the one thing I'm sure that people would want to know or be aware of, if I can do this right, is that we do have an owner's contingency of 1.6% still. And there's a contingency that's our money, but it's a contingency that's held by O&G as their contingency of 4%. And so we're at about 5.6%, somewhere in that ballpark. Contingency. One of the things we did put, and building committee recommended, was that if at the end of the first phase of the project, which is basically the abatement of the 3 schools, ripping everything out, and that would end September of this year, that if they haven't consumed 1% of their contingency, or up to 1% of the contingency, that contingency will be released back to the contingency. So if they didn't run into any problems at all, that'd be about another $250,000 or so that would come back as contingency money for the owners. So if we find that we need another drinking fountain, there would be additional money there.
Yeah, I thought that was a great, and John Rhodes did a nice job explaining how, in essence, that if we didn't agree to that, that money could be returned, but at a point where it was too late to really do anything meaningful with it. So.
Right. Yep. So the building committee continues to seems to be doing a really good job. It was a great idea that John had. So. I think that was it.
Yeah, this was a good working document, kind of clarified responsibilities as well between O&G and what we're responsible for. So we're processing through all that as well. So I think we're in good shape.
Yep. Okay.
That's it for that?
Yep, that's it, unless anybody has any questions. No? Okay. The next item is to discussion action, and it's under the community forum input for May 21st, and then the proposed redistricting plan or option, which is option 4AR. Mike Zuba has been kind enough to hang in here with us in case we have any additional questions. But Jeff, do you have any?
No, I mean, I just want to thank the community. To be honest, we've gotten some good feedback. I'll speak specifically about Saunders Point. I think we listened and were able to go back after the first forum in Days of Justice, and I think Mike has done a great job.
Eric?
I think, I think it was great to have the 2 public forums because it really helps us like hear from the community and what the biggest concerns are. And I found that those very helpful to see where the questions are. It also helped validate for me the reason why we went with Malone and McBroom. Is that right now? Okay. And Mike helping us out. I think there's some data that came up today that I just want to clarify. So 2 years ago, we had a different group who helped us come up with our forecasts for elementary school enrollment. And when we probed and drilled down and asked a lot of questions, we actually found out their data was not very good. And then they redid their data and came up with another number which was going up, not down. So I mean, significant, like complete change in the data that was provided to us. We felt, at that point, I lost probably a little confidence in the data that we were receiving because we didn't know if this is my perspective, not the board perspective. I didn't know if next week we'd get another number, and so you start getting uncomfortable, which is why when we looked to go out and we had Malone and McBroom kind of give their presentation and talk about how they went through the calculation and the process they went through is exactly what we needed. So they do a real data-driven analysis to come up with the best we can of where our projections of elementary schools. So I really appreciate, the work that was done, and I think it really was helpful, and I hope our community heard some of the things that were said. It may not, again, there's still tough decisions. It may not be what you want from your personal situation, but it was, an independent view from experts who did a very good analysis in terms of how they approached the analysis to come up with the numbers. So I just wanted to say that I really thought it was great and really happy that we went with Malone and McBroom.
I agree 100%. Anybody else have comments? Al's dying to make a motion. I just want to make sure.
I did want to make the comment that I think that, there has been a tremendous amount of energy put into this and the fact that we're renovating these schools. And I think that ultimately we have incredible staff here that I understand that as parents with particularly young children, that they're seeing this as all, we kind of got the short end of the stick with regard to when the timing occurred, but I don't really think that that's going to be the case. I think that the teachers are going to make the experience a great one. As a teacher who went through a renovation project in our building, the kids were successful. They went on, they learned as much as they were going to learn. They went to good schools. They made it work, and yeah, there's going to be a couple of bumps along the road, but ultimately we're going to end up doing something that really needed to be done for our town. And I don't think the kids are going to be disserviced.
Okay. Jamie?
I've been here 10 years on the board, and for 10 years we've talked about redistricting and how hard it is and how hard it's going to be, and that it isn't a decision that we have taken lightly. We've talked about it for a long time, and how hard it is for everyone involved. We understand that. We get that it's hard and it's not going to be easy. But being a person who has been to 13 schools, it's a hard transition. As a student, you survive, you make new friends, you make and meet great people along the way. I survived 13 schools, being a Navy brat. It's something that you learn how to adapt to as a child. It's one of the great things about being a kid, that you learn to adapt to new situations, and social anxieties kind of disappear because you're all new, you're all doing something different. It's not going to be easy, I know that, but the kids in this community are awesome, and the teachers and the staff in this district are amazing, and we're going to make it work. The kids are going to have a good transition, and yes, there's going to be bumps along the way, but we've worked really hard, and I feel positive about what we're doing.
Good. Okay. Al, do you want to say something?
Yes, I do. I'll make a motion.
Okay.
How'd you guess?
Hurry.
I move that the board approve the selection of the board's preferred option for AR as the elementary redistricting option starting in the 2019-2020 school year.
I'll second that.
Seconds it? Any more discussion or comment? All right? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Passes unanimously. And, yeah. And just as an overarching thank you, I thank all the board members for the patience that you've shown through this long time trying to come to the right decision. I think you guys have done a great job. Really good. Okay. With that,
Mike,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
Mike, thank you, Mike. And I hope we don't ever see you again. Yeah. That's all right.
He's still 2 years or so, a year and a half.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so moving on to our next item, which is under personnel. Yeah, I guess it's recommended approval for voluntary early retirement incentive plan for members of the East Lyme Public Schools. And Jeff, do you want to?
Yeah, we had put this out, we talked about previously, put this out to our secretarial bargaining group and our custodial group. We were hoping for, some higher numbers and thought people might, be interested in taking advantage of this. We had 3 that you can see listed there that took advantage of this, and we'll be retiring 3 secretaries. So, again, we put it out there. We'll see what next year brings. I don't know if it would be of interest next year, but we obviously would want to look at it, from a financial standpoint and what's good for our staff. So we'll see where that goes for the following year.
Okay. So this does require action from the board.
I don't know where it is. I'd like to recommend approval of the voluntary early retirement incentive plan for members of the East Lyme Public Schools Secretarial Bargaining Unit as follows. Joanne Kasperzak, Flanders, Alice McDougall, Central Office, effective June 30th, 2018, and Susan Fletcher, High School, effective June 12th, 2018, as presented.
Okay, good. Is there
Second.
a second? Barbara seconds it. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Passes unanimously. And that is it. No, we didn't have any policy.
No, we haven't had. For now,
Meeting. I thought there were some. So,
yeah, redistricting.
Okay.
And we're back on track.
Okay. That brings us to administration reports.
Yeah,
Mr. Superintendent?
just 2 items. Just one. I mean, it's great, the recognitions of students tonight. There's been so many other recognitions, too, of students. Mr. Susi had mentioned C-SPAN earlier. We were just at the middle school with Mr. Bickwood last week for a student. That was her 2nd year in a row, I think.
That was our board rep, actually, Sashi Bora.
Yes, that's right, Sashi.
The board a couple of times. She submitted and was honorable mention for C-SPAN this year, so they came down. That was well represented, Jeff.
Yeah, we had Senator Formica there.
Yep.
First Selectman was there.
Right.
Was there.
She's in, we had a number of dignitaries that were there. It was, Kathy, yes.
Yeah.
McCartney was there, yep. It was great, well attended, just some super recognitions. Thursday, Mr. Susi, I know we're at the Chamber of Commerce breakfast for some recognitions, and then at the AquaTurf for lunch. Governor's Scholar. So there's some great recognitions going on across
We also had Rotary Club. We honored 2 students for their writing.
Their essays. That's right. Exactly. So it's been a great feeling, great recognition of students across the district. The second piece, the aquatics program, we have had 2 meetings with the pool committee and some members of the Board of Education. Our first meeting was just a general discussion about the direction of where we want our aquatics program to go. Second meeting was an actual discussion with Rob Boucher, who has been working under Jack Staubach for the last 2 years, almost 2 years now. We feel very good and very confident in the group of giving Rob an opportunity to take over the aquatics program. So we're working through that right now and looking at potentially a one-year agreement and contract with him, but we'll bring more information forward. We still need to meet again with the pool committee members for some more discussions. So we're in process with that, and just want to give you a quick update. So more to come regarding the aquatics program, but we're feeling pretty good about where we are. And members who are with me, I don't know if you have anything you want else to share on that, but no? Okay.
In progress.
All right.
Any questions for Jeff? No? Amy, you got anything for us?
So I'm in the middle of my listening tours at each of the buildings. So at the elementary level, I go to an elementary school. I stay there all day, and I meet with every grade level, but every hour, rotating through. And then at the middle school, I'm actually doing it by content this year. And then at the high school, I do it by department. Where basically I go out and I say, talk to me. What are things we need to keep on our radar at the district level, at the building level? Let me hear your feedback about positives, negatives, and I just take notes and sort of listen, and my hope is what I do is I take all that information, and as administrators, we sort of get together and we categorize what we hear, and the feedback that we're receiving from our teachers to help us sort of move forward at our admin retreat, if you will. The other is just ensuring families, as you face redistricting and the changes within it, continuing to build your confidence in regards to the elementary experience and working with the teachers across the 3 buildings on curriculum revision. And non-negotiable for us moving forward is that as we work on curriculum revision, there are reps from each of the 3 schools to be able to support that work so that we're doing it in a collaborative fashion. With that being said, I'm ready for the budget to be approved so I can start talking about summer curriculum work for next year in particular. In phase 1 of curriculum development, I have world language, I have library media, tech ed, health and PE, and social studies. And in phase 2, I have pre-K and science. So I have a lot of content areas in those revision phases, but at the same time, I think our summer is a nice starting point to sort of the revisions that we make. So.
Good. Excellent. Mariana, anything?
Or just getting,
I'm sorry. What's your question? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I didn't see it.
Amy, where are we with the district-wide assessment calendar?
So I have a draft district-wide assessment calendar that needs to be finalized at the elementary level. We have our literacy specialists are making 2 tweaks to it. What we try to do is we try to do an overall release of anything new to as much as we can. So right now, like as district-wide, it would be the assessment, updated assessment map, but then also the elementary level, we want to get their schedule in their hands. We have to do a couple lunchway pilots before we can finalize the schedule. So there's certain things we want to get in their hands. So we tend to do like an end of May, early June release if we can with it.
Okay, so we will have one for next year then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a big one.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
Good.
Amy, was the high school involved in assessment today for state science standards assessment today? Are high school involved?
No, if there could have been a student doing a makeup, but right now, no.
No, this is like the state did this whole thing. I know my school did it.
each school is
No, so we
different.
have to the 25th, the testing window's to the 25th. We're almost basically anywhere between 93 and 99.6% completion rates at each of our 5 schools. So they have until Friday to complete and find those stragglers.
Yeah, our high school, they said for all the juniors had to do it today.
Are you talking about the science standards?
Science standards.
Yeah, we've already completed.
Completed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Mariana? You.
Just getting ready for the end of the fiscal year, the closeout, and the state has changed our end-of-year reporting. So instead of what used to be the EDO 1, it's something different. So working with trying to pair our account numbers with the new accounting format that we want to see.
Okay.
Just one other addition, if I may. With the redistricting and the workshops, we kind of missed AAA, FFO, as well as policy. Yep. Kind of, it might behoove us to maybe have separate 1 or 2 of those meetings. Our next meeting isn't until June 11th, so we've kind of got some time in between, and we're closing at the end of the year. Mariana and I spoke about, giving, the group an update as to where we are for the year. I think that's June 11th is a little late. So maybe we can at least get one of or two of them in, policy and one, either AAA or FFO. We've got some things that are hanging out there. So how about we'll be in touch and we'll see, which we could do. So prior to June 11th, we can have a policy as well as a AAA or FFO, and then on June 11th, we can have the other one, sort of thing, to make sure that we're getting those in.
Okay.
So we'll try that.
Good.
So we'll be in touch.
Good. Let's see, communications notices, that brings us to board comments and future agenda items. Any comments, future agenda items? No? Just the one thing I thought, Jeff, was, I don't know, at some point, there's an awful lot of stuff that was in the legislature.
Yeah.
In the bill for the budget that had potential impact on us.
Yes, indeed. Over 1,000 bills, I think they're.
Yeah, I don't know.
Short session.
I don't know. It would be good if we could, if I don't know, I don't want to have you do all the, have to do all the homework, but if there's something that you've seen or some distillation of the main issues or the main worries you have, that might be a good thing to share with the board.
Yeah, I mean, there's one or two in particular that are of very much concern, but our attorneys and different groups are working on this now. They will kind of encapsulate the most important pieces, and then they will forward those to us. It'd probably be easier just to bring those forward, whether it be at a meeting or send to you in one of our updates, so you can easily see the impacts of each of those bills.
Yeah.
If I get some further information, rather than kind of spreading it out, there's a number of mandates. John?
Kate had a good press conference Wednesday last week.
Oh, is that right?
But it's on CTN, so if you want to pass around that link, kind of broke it down. They had one of their staff attorneys run through.
Okay.
The 1,000 days of legislation. It's kind of fun. So they did a good job of presenting.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some bills that we're paying attention to. We're going to get more information on. They could change too with more clarity the next session, but we'll definitely, we can share more information. We'll look into that.
Okay. Jamie?
I have a fun comment question. Are we going to do like a shovel in for our projects?
We talked a little bit about that, the town building.
3 shovels.
Definitely something obviously at the end.
I know we did the big shovel in when we did the field, the track. I just didn't know if we were going to, I can't think of the word right now.
Groundbreaking.
I have a headache, sorry.
Well, we kind of went back and forth because we're not really breaking ground. We're ripping into
tile.
But what O&G will do, Jamie, which is I thought was really neat, and we talked to.
I was talking about.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
This is a pretty neat activity where they will purchase mini hard hats for all the kids in the 3 schools at the beginning of next year. So O&G will purchase them, and they'll bring them in. So every kid will get a hard hat. We can map out when we do it. First day or that week or whatever, and get them involved in the projects, have some discussions, have some fun with it, maybe do a little ceremonial thing at each one of the schools if the principals are interested, because we're not really kind of digging shovels into other than Bully Haynes at the front.
We do like a big thing.
Right.
We do
Wrecking ball.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a wrecking ball.
And then a year from September.
Yes, a year from September. Ribbon ceremony. Dignitary.
I'll be there with bells and whistles when that
Absolutely.
We did an implosion. No, we're not
I just
having an
didn't know if we were
implosion.
doing some kind of a groundbreaking. So I'm not like,
Yeah, we're going to do it with the kids and hard hats and that sort of thing. So I think it'd be fun. I want to involve them as much as possible.
I like that idea. That's awesome.
It's neat.
Oh, do you?
Okay, that was it.
Okay.
Just one, go ahead, Eric.
I just one quick, so we had a lot of comments about the Chinese
Yeah, that's
school
right,
and the
yep.
changes. Is that going to go to FFO for discussion, or I don't know what the next step is, but whatever it is, we need to have a discussion.
Yeah, that's where it came out of. I think we should go back there for discussion, and then rather quickly, that's another reason I think we should have probably an FFO meeting first.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, because it sounded like there was some urgency because of the registration.
Exactly, yep.
So-
on Monday?
I hope not.
No, I'll look ahead.
I hope not.
Memorial, Lynn and I work, yeah, Memorial Day. We're not
No, not Monday.
We'll look ahead on the calendar and get something out definitely before.
I'm working.
Also, did we ever discuss how we were handling the $200,000 reduction?
It's another piece, but it's another where we need to, we're waiting for the referendum Thursday.
Yeah,
to pass,
we have to do that too,
Exactly. So
right?
we've got some tentative ideas. Principals have been working on some things, so that's another reason at FFO we can bring that information forward. We've got the listing of info. So, yeah, definitely an FFO meeting. Sounds like we need first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. This public comment. Anybody like to address the board on any matter? Yes, Diane?
I'll be brief, I promise. Really brief.
Executive session.
We're not ready yet. I thought we would.
Oh, we're not.
Diane Swan, 7 North Beechwood Road. I'm here as an educator and a taxpayer. So first of all, I would like to thank Eric, John, and me for volunteering to serve as ad hoc committee for what was formerly known as the Planetarium Imaginarium. Again, we are now Stars to STEM Incorporated. We received our official incorporation letter. I believe it was last Friday, so we're very excited about that. We are meeting with an attorney that's working with us pro bono, who is helping us with our nonprofit status, and that is what is going to be on our agenda. I know you guys have like the next 3 weeks off from Board of Ed meetings, so we will try and take up your time, but our meeting is tomorrow evening, and the location, I'll have to email you that location, because I'm not really sure. We're someplace at the community center, but I don't have that information. The secretary for our organization has that. So I'll get that to you as soon as possible, so thank you for that. I'd also like to thank Jeff and Amy for coming down to the outdoor stormwater classroom presentation that we had. I know that a lot of you have daytime jobs, so you couldn't come, but it was a great day. It also allowed us an opportunity to kind of look at the resources that we have in town, because we were presented with a situation for a student and we weren't equipped to handle some of the situations that occurred there. So there was a lot of collaboration with the Parks and Rec as far as what we can do with some of the lifeguard equipment that's there, and also with the VNA to be able to really up some of the different things, so we're ready and prepared for every situation. The situation is handled beautifully, but it made us aware of what things that we need in town to be ready for anything that could happen at any time, especially when you're at a beach and continuing sand. So in addition to that, it was a great opportunity. Vic and I thank everybody who donates their time and energy. People, again, it wouldn't be possible to have that day if it wasn't for the collaboration from the different organizations that we have. Vic and I are also looking into moving to the next level. We're providing an opportunity for grade 4 students to be able to have an outdoor experience like the outdoor stormwater classroom, but it would be at Darrow Ridge. And based on a grant that the town has received from the state department for $62,000, they will be looking at the vernal ponds and the trails that are being worked on. And that, again, is huge kudos to Art Carlson, because, again, he's a person who's a visionary who says, you know what, think global, act local. So his mantra is what we've taken to heart. So Vic and I will be meeting over the summer to take a look at that, and we'll also be putting forth another grant that we did for the outdoor stormwater classroom to be able to set it up the same way, so that we can get students out there and be able to utilize the different varieties of outdoor educational settings within our town and make them aware of the imprint that they will have in the future. So that's my summer project in addition to the planetarium, because that, again, that's not going to go anywhere. I'll have you all on board, I promise, and you guys will all want to come to the meetings, not just 3. You're all going to want to be there. So thank you for your time.
Can I ask a question?
No.
I just want a clarification on the, like, are we supposed to go to a meeting tomorrow night?
We'll talk about that.
Okay. I'm not sure how that works. I need to know if I was going to be somewhere tomorrow night. That's my only question.
Anyone else? Any other public? Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I wanted. Well, that's all I just need to know if I'm supposed to be somewhere.
I'm trying not to put this off, but okay. Alicia Brothers, 149 Roxbury. I'm a parent, and I heard you guys all did a great job with the redistricting. I know that was hard for a lot of you, and it's been a really long time. So I've spoken with Jeff, I've spoken with a lot of people. I wanted, it's not really a question, it's just something that I'm hoping that you guys are working on to consider the childcare situations intra-district. I have 4 children, I have 3 that will be in school, 2 in school right now, 90% will leave the district. And we've had a great childcare provider for years. it makes it easier for me to have gone back to work. And my daughter will be going to kindergarten next year. She's going to be grandfathered in. So we're in a unique situation, and I don't ever expect exceptions, but I do, if anyone has the redistricting map, you'll see that there's 3 students in the Libby district that go to Manning Center. Two, I believe, are moving on, and my one child will be the only child who will have to move to the Libby district from Manning Center. And we have our child care provider will be also redistricted to Manning Center. Anyway, to get to the point, I know that there's going to be like situations where, we're going to be visiting schools and the kids are going to be integrated together. If there is no child care exception, I hope that you do consider that there is one student at Manning Center who will be moving as well, and how to incorporate that. But most of all, I do hope that you at least look at licensed child care providers to be included in anything going forward. Because I know, or even if it's grandfather, I know people will try to make any excuse they can, but if you can at least look at licensed child care providers and in-home licensed providers, that would be very beneficial. Because I think that get down to about 5 kids that would have exceptions.
Yeah.
So, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to address the board this time? No? Anyone else? Okay, we do not have a need for an executive session, so with that.
Yeah, I'm going to wait till next.
Joel seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.